Hi, I'm Reed Verdesoto from ReedVerde.com, and today in lesson number 6, we're going to be talking about lists. So let's jump right on into it. As we take a look here and we get into your Subsplash app, what you're going to notice is you have these tabs. We can have a total of 5 tabs, and each tab is associated with a list. So your question is going to be, what is a list? Well, think of a list like a folder. A folder can hold things. Now in Subsplash, folders are really important because folders, these lists, can hold all of the things. So let's click on Add Item. Right now we're in that list. You can see the list is called Start here, and I can click on Add List or Add Item, and you can see these radial buttons, right? List is the folder that everything goes in, but I can put in, you can see like I'm in a list right now. The fact that I can add a list to a list should give us some insight, right? Just like on your computer, where we can have like a folder called Photos, and then inside we could have 2021 versus 2022 versus Youth and the Retreat and all this other things, right? We can put lists inside of lists to help us navigate through our app, all right? But we can also put in media series. We can put in media items, right? So let's take a look at a way that we really want to use these lists. Let's go into media. For a lot of churches, a lot of organizations, you're trying to have media that is organized in a way dependent on the granular use of that media. So you might have sermons versus an archive of your live stream versus an archive of your Bible studies or your daily devotions. Let's give people a way to interact with your content in a way that makes sense by creating specific lists. Right? So let's say that on Sunday, we're in the Jonah series. Well, let's use this for my church. Right now, we are in the Corinthians series, right? I want to make sure that I create a media series called Corinthians that's inside the list that is just sermons. Now, I've trimmed down all of my sermons so that I have only the audio in there, right, of just the sermons, instead of maybe a live stream archive, which has all of the entire service, from worship to announcements to baptism to whatever, and the message, right? So this list is going to hold just items that are specific and help people granularly access your stuff. What's great about lists is we can nest lists inside of lists. So maybe we have a communications list or connect. Inside that list, we can have another list called social media links. And then inside that list, we can have all of the links to all of your social media stuff. Here's where we can get really creative. Let's say that in your app, you've got a Connect tab or a Next Steps tab. In that, you've got a list called Next Steps. Inside there, you can say small groups. That's a list. But then you could create another list called small group number 1, small group number 2, small group number 3. And then inside those lists, you could say, the welcome video for small group 1, the Zoom link for small group 1, the calendar for small group 1, and the form for small group 1. You see, we can use these lists to give really granular experiences and get people to the content that they need in a smart user experience, platform specifically designed way that makes the user experience great. That's what we're going to use lists for. Now, there's another really cool thing that you can do with lists that I want to show you. As we come on over to apps, right? Or actually with media, we can embed our lists, right? Let's say that you want to take those sermons and you want to put them over on your website. Well, we can click on Media Library, and we can say embed a media series or a list, right? And now I can take just my sermons, right? Apply that, and look, only the stuff that's in my sermons list shows up here, okay? Another way that we can do something is go to podcasts and do the same idea. Remember how I told you that I was just using my sermons list with just the sermons, not the live stream audio? So I can create a podcast and say, you know what? The content for this podcast, I want you to use just the audio that is coming from the series called, or the list called Sermons. All right, so that's how you're going to be able to use lists. I hope this really helps you. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at reedverde.com. All right, thanks so much and take care.